I think like my version of white privilege is when, like someone who's the same as me but happens to be white, like Sally. Sally's also white, but we're very similar. She has more privileges for things over me because I'm a person of color.
Yeah, but what though? Like, do you have any? Do you have an example of what that might look like?
It could be in like the job market or academically or just like, I don't know, like I feel like there's certain things that black, like, I mean,
Now, look, I'm going to do my best to be as gracious as I possibly can with this young woman. She is not a child in the sense of, a kid, but she's young. And a lot of these ideas have likely been force fed to her through this indoctrination system that we call higher ed. So I'm going to take it from that standpoint. The reality in the year of our Lord 2025, and if we go back 10, 15, 20 years, is that if you are a Black American, you have likely had a greater advantage in these institutions or in the corporate sector, whatever it is, right? We have literal laws that were put into place as far as affirmative action and DEI. Now, we can go back and say, well, that's just making up for the disparities that existed in the time of Jim Crow and slavery, etc. And to that, I say that is a half truth. However, affirmative action and DEI have been worse, or essentially they have added to the problem for Black Americans as opposed to fixing some of these, I'm not going to say inherent problems because they're not inherent. They are learned behaviors. They are picked up. They are rehashed. And essentially, well, okay, I can say inherent as far as man in his fallen state, man in his fallen nature. I can say it as far as that goes, right? When there is no God as the foundation of that community, that household, then the entire thing falls apart. And I promise y'all, if Black folks gave up the victim mentality tomorrow in mass or at scale, at the very least 6 months, at the most like 12 to 18 months, you would see an entirely different group of people. You would see prosperity in places you never would have thought it for Black folks. You would see an uplifting, not just in financial, but in family, in social dynamics. All the violence, all the criminality, all of these factors would be greatly diminished. Again, at the core, at the foundation, it must be God, the true and living God. And on that, you build your house, right? On that solid rock. If they started giving up the God of victimhood, the God of self-loathing and woe is me, I promise y'all it would change overnight. But I'm going to let this young lady continue because hopefully she's able to find her way to some sort of, I guess, any sort of substance. Because as far as what she's saying, there's nothing there. Well, I mean, Sally has privileges because she's white. Okay, how? Where? Well, I mean, in the job market and probably different opportunities. Okay, how? Well, I mean, my question would be, how do you know? And then after that, I would present the information of, well, here are the numbers of disparities and disproportionate discrimination taking place against whites and Asians when it came to DEI and how that's been exercised within educational institutions and even corporate America.
People of color are taught at home that make us, or like that we're taught that like we're different from other, like from white people sometimes.
Okay, but is that privilege or is that?
Well, I think it's like they have privileges that everyone should get.
How do you know that white privilege exists?
Folks, I promise y'all, I did not watch this video ahead of time. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your level of patience. Lord knows you've got it. And thank you for asking the right questions. How do you know? How do you know that's discrimination?
And I'm asking you this it's one of these things that we throw out we just throw it around like white privilege, right? We throw these terms and concepts out, but we rarely stop and say, wait, hang on, what does that mean? What are we actually really talking about?
Critical thinking, folks.
So you get where I'm going here, because this is not a trap, and it's like, and hey, by the way, if you're watching, it's like she's not going to have an answer to this question. Okay, how old are you?
19.
She's a kid.
Hang on, can you zoom in on my face? Make sure I'm on the stream. Okay, go ahead, slow. Right here. I'm really white. I'm white. I'm white out. I got to try. Okay, listen, man. Lena is 19 years old, okay? I'm asking her a really difficult question in front of a room full of people, and she's not going to be able to answer this question, but I'm going to ask her to try, okay?
This guy's got like Mr. Rogers energy. You know what I mean? This is the level of graciousness that I aspire towards. Now, Lord, please let me keep a little bit of the petty. I'm not mean-spiritedness or hatred or any of those things. Nah, just a little bit of petty. But this right here is it. This man is patient. He's doing it the right way. Even, disarming this young woman who has been indoctrinated. She's been brainwashed to believe that she is lesser than. And that's what that idea actually does. It says you're lesser than. So you're going to need extra assistance. Probably a little more than just extra assistant. You're going to need somebody to choose you above somebody who is qualified because you can't do it. That is a dangerous mentality to go through life with. This lack of personal agency, they say in psychology, is the number one determining factor of a miserable life.
So it's cool. All right. And you're not smarter than her. Okay. Keep that in mind. So how do you know it exists?
Like things that we've seen in history so far have shown us that white privilege is real.
Yeah, definitely in terms of history. I mean, there's no question that it's real. I mean, and there's generational privilege, and this is like the miracle of compound interest, right? When you gather more of the wealth and then you invest that wealth, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at how the United States was set up. It's like with the Brits in India before you kicked them out, that people who were able to collect more of that wealth for themselves are going to invest it, and they're going to be wealthier. So of course white people have more wealth, and so I'm like, oh my God, right? Okay, so history. Have you ever stopped to question whether white privilege is really an operation?
Not really.
Okay, that's cool. That's a fair answer. I mean, we're going to talk about it because that's part of what this class is, because it is an operation for sure. But, one of the things is it's really important to see the places in which it's an operation.
I like that.
So I have, done my best up to this point to understand this subject matter in context of what is really affecting people, and to get more specific, Black America. Where does the suffering come from, the struggle come from? And again, I can't view this thing from a silo sort of perspective where it's like, well, here's economics and here's social and here's religion, etc. No, I have to look at it all as having relationship, and they're all connected. And it's actually built more like a pyramid than it really is, one piece connecting to the next. So the foundation, as I've said, is God, the principles and values that have been demonstrated by God, right? There are inherent laws. So let's say having children in the context of marriage, not a baby mama, baby daddy, not out of wedlock, but having children in the context of marriage. Now, some may say, well, God just don't want us to have no fun. See, every law that has been put into place, every command by your creator is for your benefit. I know it seems crazy, but guess what? When you sleep around, you're the one who loses out. When you sleep around, you're the one who is deeply affected. You end up with a child that you cannot raise. And so now you end up taking the life of that child, or you have a greater burden. You have no real foundation in the household, so you can't raise that child in a healthy context, so it becomes burdensome as opposed to blessing some. Just this one idea by itself, right? Why would God call us to do something like get married to this one person? We're not going to have all these people. We were created to bond to that one individual, to have relationship, to build and cultivate that relationship, to have closeness, to have connection, and to reproduce on the basis of that connection and that bond. Even our biology tells us this. That's why we have the bonding chemicals and the chemistry that plays out within our biology. It's for the purposes that were intended. That's why a boy can't be a girl, girl can't be a boy. That's why a boy and a girl cannot procreate. Again, this may offend you, but these are the facts. The natural order and natural law shows us this to be true. And so when you're out of order and you're out of whack, when you stop prioritizing these aspects of life, when you decouple yourself from godly order, all there is chaos. So now, instead of love in the household, because we're called to love our brother and our sister, not just meaning your relative, but even the person who cussed you out in traffic, to have a love for that person, and that's still something that God is working on my heart with, that is going to lead to you not taking your brother's life. So the unaliving rate goes down disproportionately. It goes down immensely in ways that we've never seen. That's why I said things would change overnight. All the shootings and all this sort of violence taking place would all but cease if now there was love in the community and love in the household. Instead of competition and jealousy and envy, now there was collaboration and connection. That would be transformative. But you see what happens when you play the victim. Oh, woe is me. You're literally playing the devil's game, right? Well, I'm just a little old victim. Oh, big bad guy, what he did to me, and what this one did to me and that one did to me. You can't take personal accountability. You've been called to change. You've been called to transform, to turn from your old ways, to turn from the addictions, whatever they may look like. It may be addiction to a narcotic. It may be addiction to your shopping habits. It may be addiction to your own reflection, vanity. You can't stop looking at yourself in the daggone mirror. Your addictions are going to hold you captive. Your sin, in the original meaning of the word, missing the mark, delineation from God's truth, is going to lead you to a place where you are disproportionately affected in negative ways, where you are no longer thriving. And we're seeing this happening in the Western world. It's no longer just communities and demographics. No, it's become the model for the West right now. We have taken God out of the equation and we've replaced God with all false idols, multitudes of them. For me, it was intellect. God of self, God of gnosis, namely the original human sin, right? You will know all things. You will know as much as God knows. Your eyes will be open to good and evil. You shall surely not die. That old promise right there. Ooh, self-godhood. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds like a good deal there. I like that one. We don't need the creator. Yeah, the one who knows all things, who created all things in him and in his image and likeness, not the other way around. Okay, yeah, I'll create God in my image and likeness. That sounds good. And then what happened in my life? Nothing but turmoil. Nothing but struggle. Yeah, sure, you may make a little money. You may do a little this, have a little fun, ride around and you you may do all of that. But what comes with it is turmoil. What comes with it is depression, is anxiety, is something that you simply cannot shake within you. That's what comes with it. What comes with it are the results that we're now seeing, where foreigners will come into your land and take your land over because you've allowed for the hand of God to be off of your own lives. We have replaced God with everything but God. That first old commandment, there shall be no other. We said, no thanks, we're good. Yeah, we're going to do our own thing. We're going to worship whatever. Oh, the club, the this, the that, the jewels, the money, the this, all of that. All of that gets worshiped, but God gets left in a low corner. I might see him on Sunday. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I'll see him on Sunday. Yeah, so Monday to Saturday night, Monday early morning, or Sunday afternoon to Saturday evening, day near Saturday a.m. You are out there on whatever, doing whatever, no sort of regulation, no sort of self-control, nothing. And then you pull up on Sunday morning for an hour, maybe 45 minutes because you skipped the worship service and you say, I'm good. Look at the results. Look at the results. Give up the victim mentality. Take personal accountability over your life. Make better decisions. These are such simple things, such straightforward things, but yet they have been made essentially irrelevant in this day and age. And I know we've been told through prophecy time and time again that, yeah, in that age, men will become lovers of themselves. And that right there, I believe, has a multitude of meanings. If you catch what I'm throwing, lovers of themselves. We're seeing a whole lot of that happening in a whole lot of different ways. There will be violence. There will be no love in them. They will grow cold in love. We got to get back to it. And I say this as I look into a mirror daily. I look into that word and it shows me who I am. I'm like, oh man, that's talking about me. That's talking about me. Oh, that's talking about me. Yeah, I got to do right. I got to live right. And it's not about, because my works are going to prostrating myself and doing these little rituals. Them rituals ain't going to save you. Them rituals ain't going to do a damn thing. The relationship is. It's the relationship, and the relationship will transform. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I've been up for hours, I've been up for days, staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind, I've been getting visions of the other kind, I've been up for weeks, I'm in the counting blessings over counting sheep, I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me, I used to be the pleaser for the people I ain't even need.